with the linear equation, how to create and what exactly the meaning of linearity is. The few equations I mentioned over here, d1 is equal to a1x, a2y, a3z. Like depending upon the values, we can put different kind of values. Based on that, d1 will be generated, or d2, d3 will be generated. This is the general idea of linear equations are. Now let's talk about the basic linear equations. We have learned about the linear regression, and in linear regression we know the function of the line, or the equation of the line, which is mentioned here. How exactly it is formed, we'll see the step by step concept of it, how these linear equations are basically formed. Now see, linear equation is not always in the form, like, so we are generally having this idea y is equal to mx plus c. So where is m is the slope and c is the intercept. So you can see this one here, it's intercepting. So if it's intercepting at 3.5 something, and 0.5 is the slope of this particular line. Okay, 0.5 can be slope of this line. Now accordingly we can generate. So here we have given y is equal to 3.5, 3.5 the y-intercept, slope of the line is 0.5, and then multiplying with the x value. So accordingly this line is drawn here. Okay, that can also be separated. You can see here the common things are extracted from is 0.5, and then 7 minus x can also be like that. Or we can like have like this also, y is equal to 0.5 x plus, okay, is equal to 3.5. Okay, we have just changed the position of them, accordingly it change. Or like y is equal to, okay, y plus 0.5 x minus 3.5 is equal to 0, and many more. So any form of that equation can be generated. Any form of the equation is possible. So we just have to make sure if these elements are present inside it, and note that all these are the same linear equations, okay, which I mentioned. All these are the same linear equation. I just adjusted it according to the rules of mathematics. Okay, it's not like always y is equal to mx plus c. If you just change the positions, then also if you just compare first and last equation here, okay, someone has told that y plus 0.5 x minus 3.5 is equal to 0 is a linear equation or not. Yes, it's linear equation. Linear equations form can be converted into multiple different formats also, remember. So any different ways which is shown over here, these are called as the linear equations here. The system of linear equation is when we have two or more linear equations working together. This is called as a system of linear equations. When multiple linear equations are present here, you can see here the examples are mentioned. 2x plus y is equal to 5. Okay, or minus x plus y is equal to 2. Okay, together they are called a system of linear equation. System of linear equations. Now can you discover the values of x and y by yourselves? Okay, so we can identify. Yes, when we have I think when you've seen the machine learning, that time I just have explained in the last session, last semester, okay, what exactly machine learning is. There's a common function or common linear function is present between them. With the help of it's possible, so you can identify, you can just guess the values. Trial and error kind of idea can be applied, and based on that we can identify the value of x and y here. Fine. Now let's see a simple example how these linear equations are actually built with a real life example. You can see this one. Let's try to build and solve a real world example like you versus horse. Okay, it's a race basically, and we are going to compare the performances of both. So you can run 0.2 kilometer every minute. Okay, for example, every minute your speed is 0.2 kilometer, and the horse can run 0.5 kilometer every minute, 500 meter in a minute. But it takes 6 minutes to reach minutes to saddle the horse, remember. So how far can you get before the horse catches you? This is what I need to identify that. So speed of both are mentioned over here, and how far can you get before the horse catches you? Now 6 minute difference is there, which I mentioned already. Okay, so how much time is required to perform? Because see, both are progressing, but the speed of both of these progress are different. Okay, my speed is 200 meters per minute. Okay, and the horse is 500 meters per minute, something like that, and we are having the difference of 6 minutes. Okay, fine. So we can make two equations. D, for example, distance in kilometer, T in the is the time in minutes. Okay, that's why I mentioned. And you can run as 0.2 kilometer every minute. So D is equal to 0.2 T. We know the connectivity between D and T. Okay, so 0.2 kilometer every minute. So I multiplied by time. will get the distance, and the horse run at 0.5 kilometer per minute, so will take 6 of its time. So d is equal to 0.5 speed and t minus 6. With the help of that, the d distance for the horse can be calculated like this. And if you put them together, now you see this one, this is why graph I have shown here. So we have a system of equation and that are linear. For first case, for my case, distance equal to 0.2 t, and for horse it is 0.5 and t minus 6, because is 6 minutes before, means he has started 6 minutes afterwards, my journey has started over there. And now if you plot that in the form of the graph, you can see this one, this is where you have started. See here, I have started my journey, correct? My speed is 0.2. So here from using the blue line, I have started my journey, and I am progressing linearly, okay, according to time. So on x-axis I mentioned t, that is time, and on y-axis I mentioned d, distance. So for my case, as time is progressing, my speed is like this one, okay, 0.2 t. And here when the horse is lagging behind me 6 minutes. So from after 6 minutes I started, but its speed is 0.5, okay, it's 500 meters per minute, okay, that's 0.5 kilometer per minute mentioned. That's why the slope is different. For the same slope is different, obviously. So horses started from here, and at this particular point here, at this particular point, we can meet together. Though horses started 6 minutes later, its equation is like that, 0.5 into t minus 6. T minus 6 is mentioned because there's a difference, the gap of 6 time difference is present between me and the horse. So this is the point where we can meet. Yes, you can see horse start at 6 minutes but then runs faster. It seems you get caught after 10 minutes and you got only 2 kilometers away. You can identify that. See, just look at it here. We started from 0, okay, horse started from 6 here, okay, from here it started, and its speed is higher. That's why the slope of this line is different over here, and here we meet. So where we meet, at that point we can identify the value of t. So after 10 minutes we are meeting, okay. When I start, after that 10 minutes, and when horse start, after that 4 minutes we have started, okay. And at what distance we have met? So we have met at 2 kilometers here this time. So this is the system of linear equations. So we can combine two equations together and we'll identify the connectivity of them by this particular method. This is a simple example where I can identify the things are linearly connected. So we know the distance and time. Here we are containing linearity of distance and time. As your time changes, your distance changes, because we are moving according to time. That's why distance is changing. So when I'm moving according to time, according to my speed, I got this distance, and when according to the horse is changing, it's got this distance. Its speed is more than that, and here we are going to catch. This is what the system of linear equations can be formed, and we can put this value in the matrix format, and accordingly it's possible to solve. This is the application of the system of multiple linear equations. If you combine them together, that time, okay, this idea is used. Now let's talk about more. So there can be many ways to solve linear equations. Let's take one more example of it. So I just mentioned two different equations over here. Example, like solve these two equations using a linear graph. Now you can see first is x plus y equal to 6, okay. So maybe remember, it's also linear equation because the value of m is 1 over here, okay. Mx plus c equal to y something, which you can mention over there. So y equal to 6, like that. So when I plotted it, it's like this. Take it, x plus y equal to 6 is like this. And the second one is minus 3 plus y is equal to 2. Minus 3 plus y is equal to 2. So here the multiplication factor of 3 is minus. That's why we got the inverse equation or inverse plot of this particular line. Minus 3 plus y is equal to 2. It's like this here. So the first equation is here, second equation is here. So these two equations, as we can see, they are in the graph, and our task is to find where two lines crosses each other. where these two lines are crossing each other, just like in previous example. This was the real world example. Now let's talk something mathematically, and then we'll try to find where these two lines are crossing. So we can see that where they cross is already solved mathematically. You can observe that where they're crossing, on x-axis it is 1 and y-axis it is 5. Correct. From here you can see this. After plotting, means if you use a programming language and you plot this equation, okay, so it's possible you can directly see the graphically, okay, where they are crossing. You can see this. From x-axis its value is 1 and for y-axis it is 5. This is the position where they are crossing. Fine, but how do we solve this one? How do we solve this system of linear equations? So there can be many ways possible. So in this case, both equations have y. So let's try subtracting the whole second equation from the first one. Now see, if you just compare it here, okay, you can observe the value of y. So x plus y minus. Now see, we are subtracting this equation, the left hand side and the right hand side. Okay, so this is your left hand side. We have subtracted from left hand side, and right hand side from the right hand side here. Okay, the first one, x plus y equal to, we got 6, the first here, x plus y equal to 6, and second is minus 3x plus y equal to 2. So I just subtracted this part, left part from left side and right part from the right side. Fine, and we'll simplify that. So if you just check it out here, minus minus will become positive, this one. So plus 3x minus this minus y equal to 6 minus 2. So if you solve again, x plus y, so here we have 4x, okay, 4x, and y minus y, this will become 0, okay, and x plus 3x, that is 4x, 6 minus 2 will become 4, x is equal to 1. This is the solution to this problem. Now if x is equal to 1, okay, see, x is equal to 1 we got. So here the value of x is equal to 1 we got. X is 1, where is that? Here, this is the point where we have crossed. Fine, this is the equation, and now let's go for the second. Now we can find the matching value of y using either of two original equations, okay, because we got the value of x over there by directly subtracting them, because they are crossing each other. That's like crossing each other, that's why I'm subtracting and finding the location where they are intersecting each other. Remember that. So it's how, so we can find the value of y using either of the two original equations, because we know that they have the same value of x. Common x is there, because their x is common, y is also common, remember, because they are plotted on the same plane. That's why their x and y values are same. So let's use the first one. You can use second one also by yourself. See, x plus y is equal to 6. If value of x is 1, then what is the value of y? 5. And the solution is x is equal to 1, y is equal to 5. And then the graph shows where we are right. Correct. Or if you put this value x1 in the first equation here, in this first equation, so minus 3 plus y equal to 2. So if you put this minus 3 on this side, 2 plus 3, that is 5. Y is equal to that. Getting? This is the system of linear equations. So any number of linear equations can be drawn on the same plane. Okay, their equation can be different and their x and y values are same, and we can just identify the connectivity between them. So just we have seen the first case where they are crossed, okay, where they are crossing, that's we have seen over here. Okay, fine. Graphically, this is why graphical representation is very important. When you plot it graphically, we can easily see these linear equations are, how they are plotted, how they are behaving, what the directions are, okay, where they are crossing, what the connectivity are there. Let's see that also, what exactly the meaning of connectivity here. See, so linear equations, they take the form like that. We just can have any number of variables inside it on the right hand side, left hand side. 2x plus y minus z is equal to 4. So linear equation is the equation where we are having the exponent of every variable 1. Exponent of every variable 1. Remember that. So you can see x raised to 1, 2 raised to 1, y raised to 1, z raised to 1. Okay, it will not create any kind of effect in the output. Remember. So it's nothing different. But non-linear equations, non-linear equation is an equation when the exponent of every variable inside it is different than one, means other than one. So it's called as a degree. We generally it called as a polynomial degree. Okay, polynomial degree. So basically, in when you use polynomial regression concept in machine learning, that time this degree plays very important role. So it creates a curve. So when you have a line and when you write the raise to, so it will create a curve. You just can try that one. Very easy to know and identify that. So this is the difference between linear and the non-linear equations. In linear equations and non-linear equations, how they are actually formulated, that's what we can identify with the help of this particular equation here. See, one small example I'll show you. So we can differentiate between linear and the non-linear equations here. See, for example, let's have a variable here, like for example, x is equal to, I just have plotted something like this. Okay, here, okay, some set of numbers are there, can identify this one, and another set of numbers I'm having here in the y variable. Let's see, for example, so 1 to 10 numbers are given, and for y, let's keep 10 to 101, increment by 10, like this. Okay, so range is created, and if I plot that one, so you can just check there's a linear connectivity present in between that. And when you build a linear regression function, that's we have seen linear regress, then we can see there's a line directly present in between that. Okay, the relationship between x and y is there, that will be a perfect line. Okay, now let's see, for example, so I'll have a plot of these two variables here. So if we plot it, let's have a, okay, plot, and they're x and y. Now see this. Okay, so this is your line, perfect line just created, perfect, which contains the exactly 45-degree angle is there. Okay, this is a perfect line generated over here. Fine. Now, what if I do something like this? See, z is equal to every number, I will multiply it by, let's see, for n in uh, x, n in x. Let's have a y over here, num raised to 2. So what I've done, I'm using, oh, just n, okay, n in, have num in. Okay, so what I've done, by using the list comprehension concept, I have calculated the square of every number which is present in the y variable, inside the y. And when you plot this one, you can see this. I'll just plot this data now uh, against z. Now you can check it. How is it? It's a curve generated from that. Curve is created. This one, these values are very less, that's why it is coming below. I don't require this one. You can see this. A curve is created, correct? This is polynomial degree 2 raised to 2 I have created. That's why you can see a curve created. This is non-linear because the second number is having raised to 2. Degree 2 is there. If you write degree 3, now you can see again it will become more curvish. Okay, if you go for 4, now see the logarithmic increase is seen over here. You can observe that now. This is the polynomial degree that we have mentioned. So with that, non-linear regressions are possible. Remember, so we are not going to have the non-linear regression here. This is just I have to show the difference between the linear and non-linear regression. So how exactly they are present? Okay, that's we can understand from this particular concept here. Okay, so with the equation which I shown, which was containing polynomial degree 2, polynomial degree 3. Okay, so accordingly, the graph is shown over here. So let's a minute, just continue. Okay, that's what the linear and the difference between linear and the non-linear regressions equations are. Fine. Okay, so let's check the dimension. It's not always compulsory that linear equation should be in 2 dimensions like x and y we have, because most of the functions, most of the machine learning function, they're having this idea present over there. See, if you talk about linear regression, there are many linear models are there in machine learning. Maybe we have not seen that. Maybe if you're having that in syllabus, we'll talk about it. Linear regression already we have known. X and Y, X on X, one on X axis, another on Y axis. Fine. Now maybe we have a 3 dimensions also. So it will make a plane. See this one. Third dimension Z is added. So X also, Y also, and Z also. So there's a concept called a support vector machine. Linear support vector machine. Say linear algorithm. In that algorithm, we are having this kind of concept. So we have multiple number of dimensions. So that dimension plane will be created. Remember, 4, 5 dimension cannot be visualized over here. That's why we can use 2 dimension, 3 dimensions, and 4 dimension, 5 dimension. Any dimensions are possible, but it's not compulsory. Only 2 elements are present in equation, linear equation. No, any number of dimensions can be there that we can pass. So if you use 2 dimensions, create a line, x-axis, y-axis, and if you have multiple dimensions, so we can create multiple 3 dimensions. It will be a plane, something like this, and that plane will separate x, y, or any other, like classification problem or regression problem also. Similar kind of ideas are. This is what the dimension concept is for linear models. So any such number of dimensions are possible over here. Okay. Now, in case of the linear equation, linear systems, again, there are just like we can have common variables. Common variables means the for the equation that two works together, they share one or more variables together. That's called as the common variables. And the system of linear equation has 2 or more equation in 1 or more variables. Just like I just mentioned, this is the common variables like x and y and z, x, y, z. Common variables are there. So set of equations should have that. For example, I give them for equation 2a plus b is equal to c, and second is 3x by 2 minus y is equal to z. So are they linear? I mean, they are not a system of linear equation because they don't have common variables. They don't have common variables. So like you can have any different kind of equations also. So many variables. So system of equations could have many equation and many variables also. So you can see this one, 3 equations with 3 variables, but their variables are common. That's to mention. So like example, 3 equations, 2x plus y minus 2z is equal to 3, or x minus y minus z is equal to 0. This is the 3-dimensional equation, is that 3 different dimension or sorry variables we are having here in it. And if you want to view, so we have to use the 3-dimension view for, just like previously we have seen, and there it creates a plane, not a line. It will create a plane. Remember, it contains the 1 dimension x, another y, and third that is on the z axis also. That's why it creates a plane over there. Fine. So x plus y minus z equal to 0, or x plus y plus 3z is equal to 12. Like same common variables, but any number of equations are possible, even any number of variables also. It's not always like x by z. So you can have x by z, a, b, c, d, any kind of variables are possible inside it. Okay, to build a linear equation. So when a number of equation is same as the number of variables, they likely to be a solution, not guaranteed, but likely to be a solution. Number of equation is the same as the number of variables are. Remember, in fact, there are only 3 possible cases present in linear equation. First, no solution present, one solution present, and infinite number of solutions present there. So when there is no solution, the equation is called as inconsistent. Equation is called as inconsistent. See, solution means when I use this equation, I should have a common value for x and y and z. Okay, so like x, first case x, y, z is different, and second case x, y, z is different. Fine. So these are called as inconsistent equations. Fine. When there is no solution, means common solution is not there. It means that these 2 equations can be plotted on 2 different kind of planes. On single plane, they don't have the same kind of values of x and y and z. Fine. So 1 or infinity may be having a solution that are called as consistent linear equations. They are consistent. Fine. So inconsistent, consistent, both are possible there. So basically, we try to consider only consistent linear equations which are plotted on the same plane and they have similar value of x and y also. Now see this one. This is what I told, and how this can be plotted. Now we can check it out. diagram of two equation in two variables. So again, one on x-axis and other on y-axis. This is inconsistency will be there. The line that you are plotting, that they are exactly parallel of each other. Exactly, they are parallel. Remember, they are the inconsistent equations. There is no solution to them. Means whatever you plot. So you can see that their y-intercept is different. If you plot these lines in parallel, this is called inconsistent equations. Remember, inconsistent equation. They don't have any connectivity between them, and no solution is provided. Now, for second case, consistent. Inconsistent, again, two types are there: independent and dependent. Okay, independent and dependent. Independent means they are okay. They are completely different. You can see there is an intersect possible in that. Always there is an intersect possible. Maybe positive, negative lines are there, positive direction, negative direction. So, but there is intercept. Intersection is there. So you can see this one. The orange line is this, and this is the blue line. There is intersect present here. So one solution is possible for them. This is independent. Okay, they are independent of each other. And second type of consistent is called dependent. Now, whatever solution that you have found, okay, so they are on the same line. That's why infinite solutions are possible. This infinity is given there, infinite number of solutions. So like that, inconsistent and consistent. So our main focus will be on the consistent part. So we can have independency or we can have the dependency of the data. Okay, fine. This is how the variables are there. Now let's talk about the independence. So we are having a separate concept here called as the linear independence. What exactly independence, what exactly the dependence are? Independent means that each equation gives new information, otherwise they are dependent. See, independent, every time they are giving a new information. Now you can see this one solution. If I change this line for any direction, anyways, every time a new information is given by them. Okay, new information. Otherwise, they are dependent. They are dependent exactly they are same. Also called as a linear independence and linear dependence. Linear independence and linear dependence. See the example which I mentioned over here. X plus y is equal to 3 and 2x plus 2y is equal to 6. What do you think? Equations are same. Correct, is it? X plus y equal to 3 and 2x plus y means, for example, let's say if value of x is 4 and value of y is 1. Okay, x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 1. You can identify these values are there, and if I have multiplied by 2 to every number, same equation. Only I multiplied 2 by x, I multiplied 2 by y, I multiplied 3 by 2, like, okay. Second equation gives no new information, is it? So they are dependent, nothing different in that. So if you plot both of these equations, they will be on same line, is it? This one, see, dependent. Their multiplication factor is different, though they are different, but their interpretation is same. Both of these equations are same. I just multiplied by 2 every number. This is called as the dependent equations. Okay, dependent, that's what we can see here. Okay, and independence, there is no direct connectivity present between them, remember. So where the equations are true, so the trick is to find where all equations are true at the same time. Okay, so let's go with our example that we have seen about the horse. So u in the line is true for all the length in graph, but nowhere else. Like just revise that. That's t is equal to 0.2 t for my case. Okay, and for horse case it is t is equal to 0.2 sorry 0.5 t, something like that. So you can check it out here. At t is equal to 5 and d is equal to 1. Okay, time is equal to 5 and here it is that you can check it. The same example I have just revised and shown over here and in bigger picture. Okay, in bigger picture, that's where we have seen previously. This is your line and this is horse line, correct? So at t is equal to 5, d is equal to 1. So you can see t is equal to 5 here, okay, and d is equal to 1, for example here. Okay, the equation is true, that is d is equal to 0.5 t, so it will be 0.2 into 5. 0.2 into 5. You can also see this is what the linearity is identified here. What value we have? 0.2. So for example, if you just check it here at this position which I mentioned here, 0.2 t, how it's identified, how exactly this slope is there? Because see, for example, t is this 0.5. If I multiply it by 0.2, 0.5 is multiplied by 0.2, what value will get here? This one, 1 exactly. Here at this time d will be 1. That's why the slope is like that. If you just make this line above, so this multiplication factor will change. Remember, so exactly it is in this direction, because whenever you go ahead, for example, let's consider this 7. Okay, so 0.2 into 7, so we'll get this number here. Okay, fine, like that. This is what we are getting. So 1 is equal to 0.2 into 5 is 2. And second case, if t is equal to 5, d equal to 3, the equation is not true. Exactly. You want to find? So see this one. D is equal to 0.23 as 3 is equal to 0.2 into 5 is not true. See where the value t5 and d equal to 3. T is equal to 5 here and d is equal to 3. Where is that? Here d is equal to 3. Here it is. Correct. At this point. So when I want to get this point, I want to shift this line above. So when you shift this line above, my speed will increase. Okay, it will go above. My speed will increase, obviously. And that time, this crossing of horse and me will be done afterwards. Remember. So you can check it. This is not true. The first is correct. Okay, that's what we have checked. But the second case is not crossing at d equal to 3. D equal to 3 is not there. Even we have not reached the distance 3 before also. See, distance 3 will be crossed somewhere here, but before that, horse has caught you. This one at this location, at this particular point. That's why the problem is there. Remember? So likewise, the horse line is also true for along its length, but nowhere else. Just to mention, this is what linear regression we are told talked about it, but same idea is used over here. On its original line also, only it is true, but above and below it will not be true. Above and below, the cases are not true, remember. But the only point where the horse crosses, just say t is equal to 10 and d is equal to 2. More mathematically, see, t is equal to 10 and d is equal to 2. So let's see here. 10 and d is equal to 2, for example. So exactly this location where we have crossed, the horse has reached me, okay, at this location. It's crossing, it's okay. Above also, t is equal to 12 and d is equal to 5. Yes, this is true. Above also, again, next. So in these, on the line, if points are lying, only for that it is true. Remember, that's what the equation of line will shows us. It's gradually increasing, proportionally, perfectly they're increasing. And with the help of that, what we have seen, the Pearson correlation have identified the linearity and proportionality of that data by using such kind of concepts here. Remember that. Okay, this is how the equations are identified. Now we have talked about this already, but let's talk about mathematically. What is linear independence? Independent set of vectors v1, v2 till vk is linearly independent if the vector equation v1 v2 plus v2 v3 plus is equal to 0 has only the trivial solution, that's x1 is equal to x2 is equal to till all xk element 0. And the set, what we have vector, the set of vectors are linearly independent otherwise. So mathematically they are shown. Technically we have seen how exactly the independence is mentioned. Inconsistent independence are there. Okay, so if you want to put in theoretical format, in mathematical equation format, so you can use this method to put this linear independence. So some facts are there for linear independence. Two vectors are linearly independent if and only if they are collinear. They are collinear. That is, one is scalar multiple of other. One is scalar multiple of other. That is what we are having. Either one will be the multiple or 2, 3, 4 will be present there. Any set containing the zero vector is linearly dependent. Okay, zero vectors, linearly dependent, obviously. This is a true. Because only single line will be there for single also, two also, three also, every time. And if the subset of V1, V2 till Vk linearly dependent, then the vectors, set of vectors is also linearly dependent. Okay, these are the rules, these are the facts about the linear independency. That's so for the set of equations, linear equation, these things are identified. So basically, most of the time in machine learning technique, we are identifying the independency. That's why independence is specially mentioned over here. Independence is specially mentioned because a set of linear equations are there, they are independent. Everyone is having different equations, so we can identify that how their behaviors are. If I am having multiple input variables with me, and with the help of it you are going to build an equation, maybe we have seen about the multivariate regression. In the multivariate regression, we are having one outcome variable and multiple input variables there. And with the help of this multiple input variable, you identify that they are linearly connected to the final or not. Maybe interconnectivity is possible and present there. So this is a location where we're going to make use of the concept of linear independence. Now you can see this one. A set of containing one vector is linearly independent only when v is not equal to 0. Okay, since xv implies 0 equal to 0 implies x is equal to 0. Theoretically, number will become 0. So like that, vector means like maybe if you have seen the uh, definitions of vector, most of times having a direction. This is what a direction is. Vector, a set of elements, and when you plot them, so they are having a direction somewhere. They are just going in some direction. That's why they are called as they are having a direction present there. So when you have linear regression, a line is also having a direction. It's going above on this side or this side, something like that. That's what we call as a direction present over there. Remember, okay, this is what the system of linear equations we can have. Let's go with the matrix concept again. The concept of matrix, which is one of the most useful fundamental aspect of linear algebra. So in that, we are having the concept of factorization only, and under factorization again, three topics are there. We're going to have LU factorization. Many factorization are possible, but as per your syllabus, we have LU factorization only, and we have eigenvector also, eigenfactor decomposition also, and that we can see many methods. Yes. So what is factorization? So many complex matrix operation cannot be solved efficiently or with stability using a limited precision of computers. Okay, limited precision of computer, because our precision is not, we are having only 16-17% till that. But in detail, if you want to solve by high amount of precision, I want to solve that operations. Okay, it may be not possible because of this particular reason. So matrix decomposition are the methods that reduces the matrix into constituent parts and make it easier to calculate more complex operation. This is called as the decomposition. Matrix decomposition. So reduces matrix into constituent parts and make it easier to calculate more complex matrix operations. These method, matrix decomposition methods, are also called as the matrix factorization method. Factorization. These are the foundation for linear algebra in computers. I'm talking in computers. Remember, even for the basic operations such as for solving system of linear equations, calculating the inverse, calculating the determinant of the matrix, like all. So these operations will also be done with the help of the decomposition method. Okay, so decomposition, factorization, we can consider they are synonyms of each other. Now, matrix decomposition is a way of reducing matrix into its constituent part that we have seen already. It is an approach that simplifies more complex matrix operation that can be performed on the decomposed matrix than the original matrix itself. Okay. See, okay, operation simplification, that is the aim of this particular task. Okay, because operations are complex, so that's why the decomposition is required. On actually performing operation original matrix, we decompose it, and after decomposition we perform the operation separately. See, for example, a common analogy for matrix decomposition is the factoring of numbers, such as factoring of 10 into 2 into 5. Correct. Rather than performing operation on 10, we'll perform on 2 and 5. Their multiplication also same. Fine. So this is what decompose or factorize. Remember, we called this concept as factorization, that 10 into 2 into 5. That's why the terminologies are same. That's why they're considered. Key matrix decomposition also called as matrix factorization also. So we factorize, we create a small separate parts of it, and then we will focus on that. That is called a decomposition. Remember, many locations are there. I think yesterday also I told about it. Principal component analysis is the method, is very commonly used method, where the decomposition methods are used to reduce the number of dimensions. Okay, let's see. Many types are there. Enlisted, I have some of them for matrix decomposition. We have first is LU decomposition, second is QR decomposition, Chomsky decomposition, or Eigen decomposition. Out of it, first and last, first and fourth, we are going to learn in this particular session how exactly these decompositions are working. LU and Eigen decompositions. See the first one. What's the meaning of LU decomposition? So the names are mentioned there directly. LU, that's why the name is given at LU decomponent. See, LU decomposition for the square matrices. Make sure for the square matrices, and the decomposed matrix into L and U component. L component and U component. So we can denote it by using A is equal to L dot U, or we'll have A is equal to LU also. So the requirement is like, so we have given the multiplication of these two matrices here. Dot, remember, that's why the dot notation multiplication matrices are used. Where A is a square matrix that we wish to decompose. Okay, we wish to decompose A, and L is a lower triangle and U is the upper triangle. Remember, L is the lower triangle of matrix, lower triangle, and U is the upper triangle of the matrix. That's why the short names are mentioned, L and U, LU decomposition. The factors L and U are triangular matrices, and the factorization that comes from elimination is A is equal to L dot U. Okay, so upper and lower triangles matrices, they are separated, and with the help of it you decompose it. Again, you can go ahead with more decomposition of it. See this one. So LU decomposition is found using an iterative numerical process and can fail for those matrices that cannot be decomposed or decomposed easily. Okay, iterative numerical process. Iterative means you can do it for multiple number of times. First, then second, then third, fourth, fifth. You divide your part. Like a for loop we have. For example, 10 iterations are there. So we are performing the operation for 10 number of times. So it's an iterative process that we can perform. The variation of this decomposition, iterative decomposition, that numerically most able to solve in practice is called as LUP decomposition. P is a partial pivoting. LUP decomposition or LU decomposition with partial pivoting. So A is equal to L U P. Can see this, what is L dot U dot P. Like, so in this way the decomposition may be possible. See, the rows of parent matrix are reordered to simplify. Parent matrix are reordered to simplify the decomposition process, and the additional P matrix specifies a way to permute the result or return the results to the original order. That is what LU decomposition will do. So there are other variants of LU are possible. They are often used to simplify solving the system of linear equations, such as finding the coefficient in linear regression. Okay, finding the coefficient linear regression. How it's possible? See, I am having a lot many data means number of rows are there in data sets, and then out of it you have to find the ideal value of the coefficient. Means you draw a line, and what's the value of coefficient present there? Means your slope. Basically in linear regression we have coefficient is multiplied, that slope is multiplied actually, as well as in calculating determinant and inverse of the matrix. Determinant of the matrix, just like we have seen the common idea of the factorizations, there also it's basically focused on that. If you have to calculate determinant of the matrix, or you have to calculate the inverse of the matrix, so this operation will help you to do so. Remember, that is LU decomposition. Just a minute, I'll just it is there. If practically possible, we'll talk about the same. Just a minute. The concept of solve is also there, that we can use. There's a function called as solve, which is present in NumPy, and with the help of it that particular function, we can solve the linear equations also. That's also possible. Let's see about the LU now. LU decomposition. So in linear algebra package of SciPy, we are having a function called as LU. You can see this one. This is the LU function which was used. So I'm defining a square matrix here, is equal to array and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and printing this A. So you can see this is a simple array printed. And now to factorize it, see, to factorize that, I'll just using this PLU. PLU. So sequence is different here. First of all, P, then L, and then U is taken. So LU of A can perform, and when you write LU of A of square matrix, it will return P, L, and U separately. Direct function is there. So if you want to do this factorization, can directly perform. You can see this one. I just shown over here the first method, that is P here presented, then second is L printed. Okay, the lower part is this, and this is the upper. And remember, when you, okay, how exactly it is identified means it's an inverse operation. Basically inverse operation is done. So if you reconstruct, if you want to reconstruct it, how exactly operations are done, see, it is the dot product of P into L into U. Okay, so you're converting this data into some lower valued format here, lower valued format. You can see this P dot L dot U. So this is what the dot operator or dot function in last session we have talked about. Using that, the dot multiplication, direct multiplication possible. P dot L. So first of all, this is your P matrix. Okay, sorry. This is a P matrix, which you can see. Okay, it's identified first. Then second is the L matrix decomposed, and the lower part is decomposed. You can see this. Okay, fine. And when you combine them together, then I'll get this again. When you again multiply them, I'll get the original matrix over here. So this is what we call as factorization. LU factorizations, lower part separately, upper part separately. And even pivoting can also be done separately. And then you multiply all them together, we'll get the original matrix present there. Okay, this is what we call as the LU factorization. Okay, before that also, I just missed something, I think. Yes. Here we can solve the linear equations by using a function called as solve. Is a function called as solve, which is present in the linear algebra package of NumPy. So with the help of that, linear equation can also be solved. Directly you need to pass the first matrix and second matrix, then we can solve that. This is linear equation can be solved by this particular method. So you can try this one also. So this is what is LU factorization, the first part of it. Just a minute. The second, actually fourth, two more are there. Two more are also possible by which the factorization is done. So next is eigen decomposition. So eigen decomposition of matrix is a type of decomposition that involves decomposing a square matrix into a set of eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Into a set of eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Maybe again this concept is very common in the statistics and in the linear algebra also. If you have heard about it, we'll talk in detail and we'll see how exactly it is calculated. So one of the most widely used kind of matrix decomposition